My name is Paula de la Cruz-Fernandez. This is an interview about Can Do LLC for the Gainesville Business History Oral History Project, run by the Inquire Capitalism Program of the History Department at the University of Florida. Understand that for us and for the public, the information you're providing today is a gift, and it is an incredible historical resource, and we dearly appreciate it. This interview will be a part of the UF oral history collections as well through the UF digital collections and on YouTube. Please introduce yourself, and then when you say your name, if you could also spell it, I'd appreciate it.
I'm Jane Robinson, Jane Robinson, Robinson, and I am the owner of Can Do Cleaning.
I'm Leah McAllister, LeahMcAllister, and I am the office manager of Can Do Clean.
Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. Could you tell me a little bit more about yourselves, where you come from, your professional and educational backgrounds?
I am originally from England, and I graduated through the college system in England. We have different degrees over there than we do over here. So I went through to O-level levels and City and Guilds levels. I came here 13 years ago, and I moved to Southern Georgia, where I ran a pet boutique and grooming salon for 12 years. And then I sold that and was looking for another venture and bought Can Do in November last year, 2024.
Very good.
So I have some college. I have mostly management and food service. I worked management and food service for probably about 10, 12 years when I was approached by the previous owner to really just come in part-time. Is what it started out. I was going to be part-time working a couple days with my food service background, and I was going to try to do both jobs and just kind of help the previous owner kind of get a footing in like management and the paperwork and that such. And it just turned into I left food service, and now I've been here for 4 years, August 2nd, and this is kind of like my main focus job-wise.
Mm-hmm. Great. So perhaps just an overview to start with. What does Can do, and why the name also? If you, I mean, I understand that it was the name of the previous, business, the previous owner gave that name, but you still use it, and do you think it's, useful because the other owner used it, or because it actually has, some meaning behind it?
Well, so the main meaning is just like we can do any like cleaning task is how, and the previous owner thought of the name. It took her a while. She put a lot of thought into it, that and our logo. It was a long process. I remember when she was doing that because I had known her for many years. And she wanted it to be very like female empowering, like women can do, like we're female ran, female business, and like women can do the job and like mothering or taking care of their family, whatever, all the multitasks. So
Okay.
it just kind of stuck, and then it goes in our email sometimes now, and it just kind of we stayed with it.
Mm. So explain me more what the business really offers. Like what are all the services that you offer today?
We are a janitorial service. We offer commercial cleaning, residential cleaning, short-term rentals, which is your Airbnbs. We do organising. If you needed anything, in your home that needs putting away, and your closet just needs an overhaul, we do things like that. We also do errands. So we have a couple of clients who are a little bit more elderly, and they might need to get, a service where we can take them to the hospital or to the chiropractor. So we also do that as well.
And have those services been like that for a while, or have they become part of the kind of portfolio over time because you've seen people have asked?
So no, it always started out with cleaning and personal services.
Okay.
Yes, it started out in a generalized of we wanted to be everything up until like the medical standpoint. Like would a CNA or a nurse would come in, we can't do those things, but all the cleaning, the errands, the organizing, we can take care of.
And that perhaps is different from other housekeeping businesses, would you say? Because it's not only that we clean, that you clean, but I'm thinking you're also taking care of kind of this initiation process, which is like, is this something you need help with? I can do it.
Yeah, we're more personalized. I think that's where you get what you're saying. So, one of our clients, we were clean and strict before it, doing the maintenance clean on her home every month. And she called us because she was having hospital visits and it was getting too much for her family to take her every time. And
Hmm.
so she asked us and said, "Is this something that you can do?" And we said, "Yeah." So on that level, it's more personal with our clients.
Right. And I definitely can see now like the why of the name. It really makes sense
Yeah.
when you explain it like this. Um, so let's go a little bit into each of the perhaps services and so I can, we can understand it a little better. The What is the service that you do the most?
Residential maintenance cleans. We
Okay.
have 90 something regular clients. For the most part, we do the first time deep clean where we go in and we do top to bottom. We do a clean slate and then we maintain that clean at a monthly, biweekly, or weekly rate.
Right. And how do you negotiate the pricing for that?
So, I mean, we offer a free estimate where we go into the home. I've found that it's better to get eyes on it. In the past,
Mm,
we did it previous, we didn't have to get eyes on it. When I first started, we would take the job, it called, we took it, and the business lost a lot of money because there would be jobs that we needed an extra 3, 4, 5, 6 hours at, and we hadn't allotted for that.
right.
So probably 2 years in, probably in 2022 we changed it to where we had to do the estimate, we get eyes on it, and if we don't, we go into a contract where, we'll say it's this price, but if there tends to be more buildup or extra, it needs extra love, we like to say to people, it gives it in a term of not saying like dirty or messy, then, we can raise the price.
Right. Right, right, right. So it's system of both you include the labor that includes doing the job plus also the products that you use, for example.
Yes. All of that goes into. I believe that's why like we're on the higher scale of we use nice product and like Jane and the previous owner are really big on paying employees a living wage. I think the previous owner, she had been a cleaner and worked at a job for 2, 3 years and could never even make a $400 paycheck. I mean, there was no mileage and it was constant. Her and my wife worked together and it was constant of feeling like I put so much hard work into something and like I don't feel like what I'm doing I'm getting paid enough for.
Right.
So Sabrina's general idea was to start out with great products and being able to pay her employees a living wage. And that's how the pricing we ended up being on. I believe we're on the upper scale of cleaning companies offered in Alachua County. We are
Hmm.
very much more detail oriented and centered
Hmm.
around like the little things are just as important as the big things, if that makes sense. Do you know how
Yeah.
their towels are folded, how their toilet paper is folded, how their paper towels look, or how they want their Airbnb set up? Those things are just as important as making sure we vacuum and clean their baseboards. And I find
Absolutely.
with people that sticks with people a lot.
How have you over time kind of made that part of your business? And I'm thinking do you create like cleaning protocols or training resources so that so that you create some kind of a standard that you can also then kind of show the next client? Or is it more you kind of also like trust that the employee will knows what to do?
No, we're with us wanting to maintain that standard. We do have a lot of training with our employees. So when they come on board, we have a trainee manual first of all that we go over with them, which lists the do's and don'ts of the company. It also explains what we do in each clean. And
Hmm.
then they go out with another cleaner for 2 weeks, and then we assess where they're up to after the 2 weeks on whether they can go kind of solo. But we
Hmm.
don't put them in the field solo. What we do is we still go and we let them go off for about an hour by themselves, and then we go into that home and then we check what they're doing and making sure that they're doing everything that they need to be doing correctly. And then even after an employee comes off training and goes into the field, we quality check the homes and the businesses that we clean.
Hmm.
So we will pick 2 or 3 businesses a day, just at random, and we will go into those and
Okay.
ran in the last hour that the employee is in their home or in the business, and we check the quality of what they've done to make sure that our standards stay high.
Hmm. Um, is that something that has been implemented over time, or because you understand, or was it, or let's say, was there any perhaps challenge over the years that you decided this is what we need to do?
The training manual is new. It is new, but when I came on board, because the employees didn't have anything in writing, and I feel that that's important that when they're going into their homes, they need to know what the company policy is over what to use, what products to use, and what equipment to use in certain areas. You cannot have them taking a certain sponge to a stainless steel fridge because it will scratch the fridge.
Right.
So we do have to, maintain that. So the training manual was implemented by myself. The quality control checks were implemented by the former owner. Did she always do those?
Mhm.
And yet she always did the
Yeah,
quality
it
checks.
had ebbs and flows. I believe in the beginning, they were not being done. It was herself and 2 employees,
Hmm.
and it was really hard for her to put herself in a management role because she was working side by side.
Right.
So that's kind of how me coming on came to, is like she would always say like I was her backbone, because when you work with people, it's harder to like get and reprimand, and then we would go through phases of where I would find there was not stuff being done for months,
Hmm.
and there was no way of seeing. So then we
Hmm.
have to pick back up. So I believe it's something that's always been there. The previous owner studied a specific training way, a specific, what to say, like
Program.
program formula of what worked and what kind of like it's an efficient method. Some people call it a speedy method. We tend to stay away from speed, as clients then think we're like rushing through their stuff. It's
Hmm.
more of efficient, of like we do the quality checks. They know they're working left of the door. They know top to bottom. They know the bathrooms are first. And it's just kind of like a process. Jane fine tuned all that and made it more like a business structure, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and that's important. So I'm gonna ask more questions about that. Do you think to create this formula or this system, do you think you use perhaps your personal knowledge or skills more, or do you also like consult with clients? Do you consult resources on the internet about what to, what should be a protocol for cleaning a house, for example?
I think it all comes together as one really. Um I have a lot of knowledge from running a business prior, so from the marketing aspects and how to keep us efficient. I've got a lot of experience doing that. That I do with being fairly new to the field, hit up. social media, really follow on Facebook pages other cleaning companies, and share their knowledge, because if they're telling me not to do something, then I'm going to research on what products not to use. And the same as if you've got something a specialty product that you need for a certain area, then that also, that the industry, the people on those pages are also very helpful. The clients will let us know if there's certain things that they require. We do have some clients that like their own products to be used. But unfortunately, as Leah said, what we use in our high-end products, they're really a high standard quality product. But when they sometimes come in with some things that are like really green, you use them, but you're going to say, well, it's not going to get it clean. A stainless steel product is used on a stainless steel fridge because that is going to bring the shine up and the fingerprints out. And then they give us an all-purpose cleaning product that's just not going to do that. So we do liaise with the clients as well. And sometimes they understand that we are using high-end and they'll come around to our way of thinking. And sometimes they'll just live with the fingerprints on the fridge and they just want us to use their eco-friendly product.
Right. Do you see this having changed lately? More like, is there a trend towards using more eco-friendly products? And do you kind of have tried to include that as part of your formula?
Again, they tend not to clean very well. The performance of the product is just not as good as some of the what we have product we have. The clients are tending to want the eco-friendly things tend to be new mamas. They're bringing a brand new baby into the house, and they research everything, and they want it all clean, and the things that we use, they do sanitize. But as I say, the people who are wanting those products are usually aren't they? That like, we have a few doctors who want us to use those products, and then we have a few mamas who want us to use those products, but they just don't clean as well, really.
Yeah. And I don't think there's an uptick of trend. I can count on one hand the amount of clients I have that request green products.
Yeah, it's not many.
When I do an estimate, if they ask, I will always let them know we do have a product. It does not, plant-based cleaners do not clean as well as chemical-based. It's just in my profession, like in my years, I've seen it. And so I always let them know that while yes, this product we do use, it does clean. It's not going to pull buildup out like this gel form bleach is going to. They're not going to do the same thing. And I believe, like Jane said, they either take it or they change and say, no, you can use your stuff. Just make sure we're out of the house and the windows get opened, or, but nothing we use is like so overwhelming that I would believe you need the windows open.
The only product that we use, which is the strongest thing we use, is on the oven. And you've got to say to a client, okay, I can use this product on your oven, and it will take me 45 minutes to clean your oven. But if you want me to use the natural products, I have to keep spraying, I have to keep chipping away at it, and it'll take me 2 hours. Do you want to pay for 45 minutes worth of work, or do you want to pay 2 hours worth of work? And usually they don't want to pay for 2 hours. So
that's interesting.
That will show you in relation to the product. If you use something that's purposely built for the job, it's 45 minutes. If you're using their green eco-friendly products, it's 2 hours. They have a choice. We'll go with what they want us to do.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about that inventory. Would you be able to kind of maybe list like some key products that you use probably in every cleaning, and how do you manage having that inventory always supplied?
Well, we do the ordering and I mean, we're a small business, so we don't have to order in huge bulk at this moment. We use Mr. Clean All Purpose. concentrated. That's
Hmm.
one of my favorite products. Scrub Daddies, Swiffers, and Magic Erasers. And then toilet bowl, like a bleach gel form, and for sanitization, and
Right.
especially in like bathrooms. Um, and those are pretty common. We do have a method that we use, but as far as inventory, Jane and me do the ordering. I do the inventory once a month. We go in, we count everything, and we go from there. The only thing I found we had to switch for inventory cost efficient wise is in the beginning we used Rejuvenate and
Mm.
Bona. And both of those products are amazing products. I love Bona especially. It is not financially a commercial product. You can't buy it in bulk and break it down to make it cheaper. And I found another pH neutral. We researched it probably about a year before Jane took over and switched. And
Mm.
we had a little kickback from that because the smell is different, but really that was it. The product itself is just as good. It's a pH neutral. Just some people and those clients went out and bought their own Bona and leave it for us, and we just use the Bona instead of ours.
And
Mm.
then as for, source and all of our stuff here comes from Amazon, Sam's Club, or Lowe's. So it's like just super easy to be able I mean, obviously I like to shop local and I do like to go into Lowe's and Sam's Club. But sometimes Amazon just has it. I mean, it's here the next day. It's
Right.
instantaneous, and we haven't really had any problem with supply chain either. So it's been pretty consistent right now.
Right. Is there a season for these services? I'm guessing in Gainesville, which is a college town, the this like the period like the summer probably is very busy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out cleaning this morning, because we are getting what we call the flips. So we work with the realtors, and they will literally like
Okay.
this flip came on yesterday. So they sent us it in the portal yesterday. You bid for it, Leah went out, looked at it, see if what we could do that for, and then we say if we want to accept the job or not. We accepted the job and had it on the books for 9 o'clock this morning. So with that being said, I only had one staff member who was available, so I went in as a second person to that job.
Right. Tell me a little bit more about how that works. Um, so that's a different client, right? These are realtors and people that manage perhaps more rooms of living, places. How is there a system that you have to be part of to be like so that realtors, let's say, or Airbnbs do this pitches for jobs or these gigs, and then you get requested or not or
No, we marketed to them. We went round
oh,
and marketed. We did little cookie baskets and we did our price list. And we went round and knocked on the doors of all of the realtors and give
hmm,
them our marketing materials. And so that now the flips have come round, these people have got our paperwork on their desk and know that we are interested. And
right,
then, they reached out to us, and then, sent us the link to the portal. We have a couple of realtors who Sabrina has previously worked with other years as well, who send us things. So yeah, basically it was our marketing which has got us in touch with these realtors.
that's that's very interesting. How many, sorry, I meant to ask this before, how many people are part of your staff?
We're low right now. There is 6 of us right now.
Right.
But normally we run around about 9.
Hmm. And what, tell me a little bit more about the relationship with them and how do you find them? How do you manage their hours, their payments, their how do they go, for example, if they are not going with you, do they go to do the job on their own car and they have like part of the inventory there?
Yes, so we provide them with product and supplies. We have a unit that they go and
Okay.
can refinish. They can reach out and let us know. We do have specifics, so we ask they don't ever buy their own stuff and put it in their bucket. As far as like finding them, it's a vetting process. We're very particular. We run background checks. I have them come in for an interview, then they go with one trainee, then we quality check. And I really am hands-on getting to know them and see how they work. And I don't know, I've been in management for, like a while, and you can see within the first few days kind of little things. And if we can't fine tune it within those days, we move on.
Mm.
I don't believe in like keeping somebody for weeks knowing that there's not. I used to think that like attention to detail could be taught to everybody. I don't agree with that now, being in this field for 4 years. I've seen people that I could tell, and some people have a knack for detail and looking, and some people it's not really a priority to them.
Hmm.
I find it's our generation that has the knack, whereas like my daughters who are 22 and 17, their generation doesn't. So it's like having younger employees can sometimes be like you have to kind of mold and train more than people that are our age. But
Mm.
I'd say like we vet, and I'm really, that means a lot to me with clients, because there are people that are really particular about people being in their homes. It's just something that's intimate on another level. It's different than a restaurant or,
Yeah.
a retail job where you have regulars. We're in their homes. And so I want the client to always feel safe and knowing that everything is going to be fine if we're in their home and they're not.
Could you both reflect a little bit more on that? How, this kind of this idea about being more skillful in certain, perhaps home um, housekeeping, but also home economics, like how, all those other parts of household management. Why do you think this is different now than it was before?
I think, in my opinion, COVID really changed the job market.
With
Um,
what?
COVID, the
Okay.
outbreak of COVID, it
Mm-hmm.
just, so Sabrina opened the business in the dead center of COVID. Um, she had 20 something clients already that she had personally already been cleaning for. So when
Mm.
I jumped on, there were some clients that had already been cleaning with her for 7, 8 years,
Mm.
because she cleaned on her own before opening a business.
Right.
So I just found that after COVID, people found other means to make money, not at a 9 to 5. They now take care of family that,
Right.
maybe other family passed away, or there is a percentage that's getting help from the government. That it just varies. It's a little bit of everything, I believe. But this last time COVID came, I seen a big shift in um, employees, and like the work ethic, that type of thing has just
Mm.
kind of changed. And also, I believe using like Indeed and ZipRecruiter has changed. That's kind of molded, as in they've now became a really like necessity, and the way they send applicants looks a lot different than it did 3 years ago, and the way they charge and that type of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. How is that? So I'm pretty sure that COVID also changed, for example, when you go into cleaning houses, perhaps perhaps before there weren't people in the house, and then when people started working from home, there was kind of the residential service like
Mhm.
changed somehow.
Well, I think her opening in the dead center, because I wasn't privy to that time. I just, when
Hmm.
I came in 2021, I seen where like, certain clients, masks had to still be worn. I mean, we still have 2 or 3 clients that we still have to wear masks in their homes.
Hmm.
And that whether that be their autoimmune, they have cancer, they have children that they don't want sick. So I believe the biggest change is cancellations and moving appointments. Because whereas before it wasn't so much socially accepted to cancel if somebody was sick,
Yeah.
And I mean, like even just yesterday, a girl went to the home and she just simply had a mask on and the client canceled and was like, I don't want her in my house. I can't have that. That is very different than I believe to post-COVID or pre-COVID.
Got it. Interesting. Um, so so how do you recruit? Do you use these systems Indeed and things like that to recruit as well?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because prior, if you used to put jobs even on Facebook,
Okay.
you would still get applicants. And we put the job on Facebook and got absolutely nothing back. Even there's like local like Gainesville hiring and on Facebook, and we just didn't get anything. So we did have to go to ZipRecruiter and Indeed, which unfortunately, as Leah said, they've got the monopoly and can charge you vast amounts of money. So now it's averaging costing, each time you run like an ad, it's you're looking at a couple of $100 each time you start a hiring process.
Right.
To it can go up to $400-500, and for a small business, that's a lot of money.
Hmm. That sounds like a lot of money for small businesses for sure. So in terms of when you write the kind of the job offer or the call, historically housekeeping was well often there's the history of housekeepers or servants and then kind of the move towards professionalization and commercialization of these skills and these jobs. And it has also been historically women who have done the job. How do you write the call for, for an applicant to make sure that you get a good pool of applicants, but also when you get them, do you is it still women overwhelmingly mostly women who apply?
Yes.
Yes, it is mostly women.
We've tried hiring.
have
We've hired men.
a few men, but they just don't have the eye to detail, let's say. And that's exactly it. It's the eye to detail. It's like we all think that we can clean, but a man just doesn't see dirt the way a lady sees it. I can just walk in a room and zoom in on dust, and men just don't see the same.
Hmm.
We obviously are gender neutral. We don't, we do interview. We've even hired them. But as Leah said, if we get within 2 or 3 days, or it's obvious if they're not going to last. If they're 2 days in, and we train them on the first day on bathrooms, and then the second day they go into a bathroom and they miss several things in that bathroom, then we've just got to cut our losses and say, you're not gonna, you're not seeing what we see. And unfortunately, you can't teach people that. They've either got that eye for it, or they haven't. But as I say, we are gender neutral. We do open for everybody. Our questions are more, do you have a reliable car and a driver's license?
Okay.
Because you need to be able to get from job to job. That is a deal breaker for us. And so unfortunately, the background check is also a deal breaker. If they won't comply to a background check, then we can't hire them. But unfortunately, with Indeed and ZipRecruiter, what we found is those deal breaker questions don't matter. So they're just going to keep sending us the applicants anyway, and still charge us for those applicants, even though they're useless to us because they haven't got a driver's license. We had one little girl, she was awfully cute, and she turned up on one of those little scooters, not motorized scooters, the one type that you push with your foot. She turns up on one of those, and we're like, well, how are you going to carry the vacuum cleaner? She's like, I can carry lots. And we're like, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, of course. So they need to have a car. But I would like to talk a little bit more about why do you think this idea that women see more, why do you think that is? Is it because there is kind of historically in the home the mother would tell the daughter, not the son, to do these things.
No, I just think that guys just don't see it as well. I mean, I just don't think there's anything to it, about, you didn't clean in the house or I did clean in the house or whatever. I just feel, because I mean it's the same with ladies. I mean the ladies just don't sometimes see it as well. I mean, it's just you have you can it's just something that you'll notice. And just guys just tend not to do that, but as I say, we've also had ladies who've cleaned something and we've looked at it and gone, that's not clean, and they're like, well, it is, and we're like, well, no, it's not. It's just not it's not for everybody. And that's what I say whenever we are in the hiring process, that this job is not for everybody. And sometimes it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. We've just found generally guys just don't get it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It will give me lots to think about. Let's talk a little bit more about technology because I mean, I'm not sure how much new cleaning technology and cleaning products have been introduced in the last 4 years, or for you in the but I'm sure you also from your previous job, like what are new, like what do you think is probably the most important
Well,
piece of
I think one
technology
of the main
that you
things
use?
concerning technology is obviously your scheduling program,
Yep.
which that when you've got people going into clients' houses and you've got so many employees, you've got so many people on the schedule, it's really important thing to have. And technically, it is meant to help you, and it is meant to make your life easier and make you more efficient. But unfortunately, these computer programs can have glitches, and we've found we've shopped for other programs, but we have a checklist of what we need the program to do.
Hmm.
So the program that we're using right now is ZenMaid, and what we found with that is that when there's a fifth week in the month, so if there's 5 Tuesdays in a month, it gets confused, and it sometimes will either push people out an extra week, or it skips a month completely and doesn't add them on.
What?
It will skip the month. So we were finding there was a few problems because I was scheduling people, and then I was going back and looking through their upcoming appointments, and I was finding that it would skip a month. And so it became really apparent when we had a client who she just cancelled, like she just dropped us, and she was really mean about it.
Mm.
And then 2 days later, her neighbour, he emailed me, and he fired us. And it was because he said nobody bothered to turn up or even contact me. Now, the lady the day before was his friend and his neighbour. So because he was so angry and he cancelled his services, she cancelled her services as well. And that lost us a great deal of money because these were maintenance clients. These were like 2 clients every single month. So it was, and when I did some research on it, it was because the program had skipped his appointments because there was 5 weeks in the month.
Oh
Unfortunately, he wasn't happy about it. Some clients will contact us and go, "Hey, I haven't seen you. When's my upcoming appointment?" He just wasn't doing that. He was just like, "No, you didn't turn up. I'm not dealing with your company anymore." So as much as you have to have it, because when you've got, when I've got, 6, 7, or 8 employees all out in the field, all cleaning houses, I need to know where they are. I need to know what they're doing. I need to know if they've turned up. I need to know how long they're in the house. So what the app does is, obviously I schedule it. I can assign how many hours it is. I can show the address in there, the phone number of the client. I can do notes on the client. If they have a key in that we keep, if they have got a lockbox, if they're home to let us in, if they've got pets, does all that. And then once the 5 days before, it sends them an email reminder. The night before, 7 p.m., it sends them a text message reminder. The next day, when the employee is heading to the house, she sends an on the way text. I'll be there in 15 minutes. So they know she's turning up. When she gets there, she clocks into the house. She does their clean. When she's leaving, she clocks out of the house. She sends the clients a completed text. The completed text then prompts them to pay us. And they know we've left their house. I know then that the employee is on their way to the next home. So
what's the name of this app again?
ZenMaid.
Okay.
So as efficient as it keeps you that way, it also has glitches. They did give me a credit on my account of $600. I lost $300 a month of those 2 clients. So that way with technology, it's a love-hate. You have to have it, but you also have to keep an eye on it. So now whenever I'm scheduling anybody, I always go and look at it and make sure it's populated those appointments. But however, if you've been a client of ours for 3 years, it only regenerates the appointments every 6 months out. So once they've had a month's worth of appointments, it'll add an extra month and add an extra month. So I can't go onto all those clients and make sure that none of them are skipping a month. So that's like what's really difficult about that, is trying to maintain that situation. But we do have to have it. But it sometimes just doesn't make us efficient. The other way with technology is that, I've been looking at all this AI and I've been researching that. I'm not sure that could benefit the company. I just don't think this is an industry that it is a good match for. And then the other things is, with technology, a vacuum cleaner is still really a vacuum cleaner. It doesn't really do anything fancy. We still mop by hand. We have a client who has their own fancy little German mop that we have to Google how it works, and it's got lots of buttons on it, and it steams and it sucks up the water, the discarded water, and then she's like, well, the floor's not clean. And I said, but we've used your cleaner. If we use our cleaner, it will be clean. So, I don't feel that technology-wise that there's anything out there still that can work any better than what we're using when we're hand mopping. Because you're not missing anything. You've got your eyes on it. You see if there's some hot sauce on the floor, and you go back over it. I just hear steam mop. I've used steam mops, and I just don't feel that they're as thorough as what it is when we use the product that we use and the hand mop.
That is really, I think, an important reflection. Could you think of any other, I don't know if you hear it, but there's just a flight coming over, but it's very, very strong noise all of a sudden. Can you think of another piece of technology? And this can be anything. So I'm gonna give you just a very culturally based, I guess, or example. I am originally from Spain, and I use a mop with with a bucket that it's very good. Like I actually got it in the United States from IKEA, which is also a European company. So and I found that the mops that you find in I don't know, Walgreens or Home Depot are different. Those ones that you have to take the water with your hands, and I'm like very surprised by that. Can you think of a piece of technology that would not be easily replaced, by perhaps innovations that industry is trying to put into the business?
we were just talking about the fact that, you know, Andrea's got that fancy German mop that really just doesn't really get the floor clean, even though she insists that we use it. And I was saying we hand mop. So we're trying to establish if there's a piece of engineering technology that we could use in a different way that would help us. Because like I said, you know, hand mopping is just more thorough. But I don't think there is another piece of technology that really can beat us actually being there, seeing it and fixing it. I don't think any technology can, you know, if you've got a Roomba, it doesn't see where the dirt is.
Yeah.
A Roomba can't identify it the way that we identify it. So I don't believe there's a piece of technology that could surpass the mop, and we don't use that system that you've just used. With the mops that we do are like a microfiber type cloth, and we use the odor and the cleaning product. So we're not a mop and bucket company, but we still hand mop. So I just don't feel like in this cleaning industry that there's really anything that you could, like for example, on the Facebook page, these ladies have now found that you can put a buffer on a drill and you can use it in the shower and it takes half the time. So they're using this polisher on a drill and it's very rapidly going round.
Okay.
And, you know, and then you've got people going, wow, it took me half the time. And then you've got the other half of the people going, yeah, but it causes this damage.
Right.
And we're in $1 million homes. We can't be taking, like, we have one client who has got this marble through her home, right? This granite. And Leah was in there, she was quality checking, and she said, what's this on here? Why is it like it was chalky? And so she was like, and she got a nail on it, and I went, don't do that. And she was like, what? And I went, don't do that. I said, it's part of the marble. It's a filler. What they've done is they've got this beautiful marble. It's had pits in it. The company has filled the pitting with filler. Over time, with putting product on it, it's taken the top layer of protective coating off it. Now the filler is exposed. So if we were to take one of those buffers to that, it's going to ruin a granite. So we've had to put on a note saying we cannot scrub her shower anymore, because if we scrub her shower, it's going to lift that filler out. So you can't beat the human eye when you're doing detail work like this, and you're in people's homes and they've paid a lot of money for their granite and their showers and their stainless steel and their sinks and their ovens, their stove tops, gleaming and shiny and stainless or glass, or, you know, you cannot be taking these products, just anything that's, it might save you time, but ultimately it's going to damage the area. So I don't feel that really there's anything that could do it, really.
I don't. And I remember probably like a year and a half ago, I don't know if you guys remember the craze that came on social media with the scrubbers. They were like everywhere on TikTok, everywhere on Facebook. Sabrina seen them and was like, oh my gosh, I am getting us all. We paid $32 for each scrubber. It came with a trainer or like a charger. It clicked on and off. I bet you 6 months, I started seeing them left at the office. And I started asking the girls, all consensus, they're crap. It's easier to just clean it myself. I can feel it. Yeah. I put the scrubber on it, then I go back. Then if it gets wet, it cuts off. Then it's got to be charged. I can't forget the charger. And like, so after all that, the scrubbers are sitting in a plastic bag in our office right now.
And exactly what Leah said, it's touch. If I run my hand around on somebody's granite worktop and there's still spaghetti sauce on it, I feel it. If I've got a machine, I don't know there's still spaghetti sauce on it. And our clients will know that there's still spaghetti sauce. They will see that sauce sitting there, go, I see that. You go out and you forget it and you leave it. And then they'll say to you, because they know it's there and they expect it to be gone when you come back. So you need to make sure that you run your hands along it and you can feel if anything is still left on. You don't get that with machinery. So that's what she's saying. The girls stopped using them because you still have to feel still have to feel it.
Right. And then in terms of software, besides the scheduling app, is there any piece of software, the software that you use that you didn't use before that would be like absolutely?
We love Canva right now because we're able to design all of our own marketing materials. So we're really loving getting to grips with Canva. Obviously, the emails are imperative. That's an imperative. Your website is still a technological thing. We're working on that right now. That needs a little bit of work to just for more marketing material on our website. Can you think of anything else that we use?
No.
That's
just the basic Google.
Technology, really.
Sometimes like different words, but that's all like social media. Like if I want a different word because I don't want to use the same word, like cleaning. I don't want to put cleaning in an email, just cleaning and us cleaning and us cleaning. I like to like pick a different word. So like I like to reach out to like Google.
Yep. Good. What about, tell me more about marketing and how much of your time it takes, and also so you said Facebook is still very important, and then you use Instagram too, or?
The marketing side of it needs more work on it. And because we've been growing so much, and as I said to you, especially with it being flip season, there's not been as much time to spend on it as I would like. So with the Facebook marketing, they've made it a lot more difficult for people to use now. Since Meta went, it's just extremely hard to post any of your market material. So we're still getting to grips with that. It's the sponsored ads that is really hard. So, and then I've now linked the Instagram to the Facebook page where there was not one linked. So now I've got to start making these posts to share to get more and more views and things like that. So that is still a work in progress. So right now with our marketing, we have had better things coming back to us with things like introduce a friend. So we made introduce a friend like a postcard, and we gave each of our clients free. And so when their friend books their first clean, their friend gets a discount and they get a discount, and they can use that discount as many times as they would like. So we're getting a lot of people who are doing that. As I say, we also did an email shot to all of the realtors, got nothing back, nothing. So that's why we did the cookies and went round and knocked on doors and introduced ourselves. So sometimes, even though social media is amazing, it doesn't always, it just doesn't always pan out. You get a lot of generic companies who advertise on Facebook, and they are franchises. Because and they saturate the market on social media. So sometimes doing it the way we're doing it, because we're a local company, family owned, we're all ladies, it's more putting that out there is sometimes better, because people are more likely to use us. Growing our reviews on Google is also really good. We've had a lot from Reddit as well. So people have been going on Reddit and coming to us that way. But certainly, Google is obviously the thing that people hit up the most, and is where we get a lot of people from.
Yeah, I mean, that's also the system I use. For example, for this project, I type, in Google Maps, cleaning services near me, or just cleaning or housekeeping, and that's how I get everything. So absolutely. Tell me a little bit more, just because we're talking about reaching out, about competition. How do you think this, well, also if you can name them, because big companies, I don't need you to, I mean, if you don't want to name any local companies, but big companies that are over, you know, the on social media, they appear more than you do, or what are these big players? Who are they?
So usually it's like Molly Maid and Minnie Maid, and they're the ones who are franchises. And so their franchises pay for the sponsored links.
Got it.
But they clean different to us because you book them for a 3 hour window and it's a set price, and they'll come in and do the 3 hours. Whatever they get done, they get done. If they don't get done, they don't get done. So if you've got a 3,000 square foot house, you're never going to get that cleaned in 3 hours. It's not going to work. So we tailor our services to people. So, but with the Molly Maid and the Mini Maid, because they're so well known, they, it's instantly, they are being brought up on the Facebook, but people can't get hold of them on the phone because it goes through a call center. And then once you phone the call center, they send the inquiry to the local company.
Mm.
And then that local company might be 3 or 4 days before they answer you back. So they, even though, they're bigger than us, if you like, they're still not getting those people because they're not answering the phone.
I don't consider them competition.
So the other competition that we've got right now is really extremely frustrating because the companies who are they're not licensed and bonded, they have not got any overheads. They don't do background. They have no websites. They don't do background checks. We have, all our girls are background checks. We're insured. We do touch everything, and they're coming in and they're undercutting our pricing. Now we've had 4 in the last week, however, where the people have gone to these cheaper companies, and then they phoned us, and we've gone in after the cheaper company and cleaned it, because I've walked into houses and gone, if I paid to get this house cleaned, I would not live in that house for that. They've left that house. It's sad that they're ripping these people off, but unfortunately, people are using these companies, and just to make it clear that they're doing a clean, which should be $700, and they're doing it for $450. And the reason why they're doing it for $450 is because we'll be in your house for anything between 10 to 20 hours, depending on how big your house is. And they're coming in and doing it in 5 hours for $450. And people are surprised how long cleaning takes. But when you're hand wiping people's baseboards, it does take a long time. And cleaning windows and cleaning blinds, it does. And our average on a deep clean is a minimum of 10 hours. With a maximum of around 25 hours in a deep clean.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just thinking, like, it's probably also very different each house, right? There are big houses, old houses. There are houses with lots of stuff. Those might just be like so difficult to clean. So what, perhaps to start wrapping up the interview, what are your goals for the future?
I do want to expand the company. I want the company to be more well known. The old owner went by friends and family, so it was people who she knew who knew people who she knew. So even though she was saying that the company was extremely well known, when I came on board, when I'm out and about around town and I go to the chamber meetings and things, I'll be like, can do, and they'll be like, who? And I'm like, okay, so we're not known. People don't know who we are, which is another reason why we went around knocking on doors for realtors, because people didn't know who we were. It's important that our clients know us and can put a face to the business. So part of with that was to get us known in the community, that is extremely important for the company. And then, I certainly want to expand into the outer areas. I'd like to be able to expand into Ocala, and go into the outer areas, because there is a need for the quality the Can Do has got out there for cleaning, because we have seen some really poor jobs.
It's very common, and with us being in a college town, these apartment complexes and cleaning companies, they will rip some of these students off. I see it every turnover season. Or you get parents that don't really know what goes into cleaning and will take that cheaper $450 clean and then be irate and calling us because they didn't do their fans and they didn't do you know what I mean? So I've seen with the turnovers, sometimes I feel like there's no loyalty. Some people will go for the cheapest price. That's what they're going to go for. But I always see them come back, and then I think we've been working with one realty company every year since I've been here. And he even says, we're the one company I don't have to worry about y'all. I don't have to worry about going back and fixing. I know I can let y'all clean in the apartment. I can fill it right then. I don't have to have my manager go pick it apart. And that means a lot, and that means a lot. And I wish we could get more well known for we are with him, with Eric.
Perhaps I'm wrong now, because I do contact other businesses, but I saw you were part of the Gainesville Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Is there how is that, does that outreach or that being part of that organization help? And are you part of any other kind of trade network that it's also helpful to be
Well,
part of?
I only actually came to Gainesville in November, so I did not know any people at all. And joining the chamber was a way of me getting out and networking. I don't feel like we've had a lot of direct business come from the chamber. I've had a lot of things to think about with other people have suggested that maybe I would not have thought of before. I've got a meeting with a lady on Sunday, and I feel that might be that I did meet her at the chamber, that may be an outlet for us bringing some business in. So currently I don't feel they're very proactive. They do a lot of meetings and things like that, but I just don't feel we've had any business come directly from there right now. So there are a few other, I looked at the BNI, but I don't believe that was for me. I think the BNI wanted, the one that approached me was a small BNI, and I think for what they were asking for joining, it was very expensive, and didn't have enough members to be able to do the networking. There is a Gainesville, a Gainesville ladies. I think it's GNAW. And so that's one that I'm going to be looking at joining soon as well. I am going to be looking at joining that one, because I feel like that one should be pretty good. Somebody also told me about the Alachua County, their chamber. I believe that one is more, people are more friendly and welcoming, and will refer you more. I think the Gainesville one's a little bit more cliquey, where I believe the Alachua County one welcomes you in a little bit more. From what I've heard. So I'm thinking about doing the Alachua County as well.
And just also, perhaps I could have asked this also at the beginning, but thinking back, why did you kind of select or wanted to buy this business? Because do you see there's lots of there's room for expansion and
initially I always worked retail. And the way things have changed with people, the way people shop now, people just are not supporting local retail businesses. It's always been customer service has always been a very focal point for me, something I've enjoyed. And so I did want to come away from retail because re the businesses are struggling. Retail businesses are absolutely struggling these days, no matter what you're in. It's just not as lucrative as it used to be. So I was looking for direction of somewhere where I could still have that customer service base, but also something where I didn't have to have a premises. I didn't want to rent a unit. Like renting a store front now is stupidly expensive. I mean, some of these places that the rent is $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and I wanted to get away from that. I did not want to, so I was looking for a business where I could still, be customer service focused, and but not have to do any of that. No, and then I wanted to come to Gainesville. So I'd seen the area, I just really liked the area, and I was looking for a business to invest in, and this one came up. So when I looked at it a little bit more, and I looked at the figures, and as Leah said, the old owner was not a businesswoman. Her books were terrible. I mean, she didn't keep good books, but I could see the potential in the company. So this is the reason why I picked this, was because I still get to do the customer service and be very focused and that eye to detail and have the quality. I wanted a company that has that quality. I'm not one of these people who just half-ass things. My boutique and groom and spa was the best boutique and groom and spa, all high-end products. And this is what I liked about this company, was it was not about botching things. It was a high-end company, but it just needed to be ran more professionally, didn't it? It needed more of a business structure. So that's the reason I'd say I felt like it had the good bones that I could take the business and I could grow it and run with it.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. Is there any other thing you would like to add, or
No.
I think that we're good. I think we've covered everything. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you for your time. I know this is your work time, so I mean your hours for your day work. So thank you very much for this time and for all your for telling us everything about your business.
Yes, thank you so much, Paula. It was very nice meeting you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording.